Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Streaming Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. This is my weekly show where each Friday I pick a single streaming service and choose three previously released films off of it. And hopefully, by the end of the episode, you have a nice full weekend full of movies to check out. And we're getting to the big one. It's Netflix. And Netflix generally is moving more towards their own content, but there still are plenty of other films to go check out that's available on the platform. And let's get started with going back to 1978 to the war drama The Deer Hunter. And this is from director Michael Cimino. And before Heaven's Gate completely ruined his career. He was a very big, promising filmmaker during the director focused era of the new Hollywood movement back in the 1970s. And The Deer Hunter was a big Oscar darling with its harrowing three-act story about a group of young men celebrating one last time before going off to Vietnam and witnessing the horrors that they experienced during the war, and then the uncomfortable, unnerving, and haunting aftermath of trying to return to a normal life or being stuck in the life that they learned during Vietnam. And this film is a sprawling 3 hours and 3 minutes and paints such a compelling and harrowing portrait of the experience of so many young men at the time and the horrible effects that Vietnam had on a whole generation worth of young American men. And this film really boasts incredible filmmaking prowess from Cimino, who just captures the emotion and the scale of his story. There's certain scenes that are so iconic and absolutely terrifying, like the Russian roulette sequences, both during Vietnam and the unfortunate, harrowing one at the end of the film in a final confrontation between two friends who were worlds apart despite being right across the table from each other. The cast of this film is incredible, with our three young men being Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, and John Savage, who wind up going off to Vietnam. But each of them delivers such impressive performances that evolve over the course of the film based off of which part of their story that they're in. And De Niro anchors this down, but it's Walken who delivers such a complicated and harrowing performance. And you have the likes of Meryl Streep, who delivers a fantastic performance as she struggles with seeing the men she loved come back, but not really coming back from Vietnam. You have the late great John Cazale in his final role here before he died of cancer. You have just such an impressive collection of actors that bring this core group of young people from this small mining town together. And this is such an impactful, emotional, and poignant story. And Cimino really showed off what filmmakers were capable of when they had a great story and a great cast. And it was the 1970s. And this is part of why the 1970s is one of the greatest film decades of all time. And this certainly is one of the last great epics of that new Hollywood movement for sure. Next up, we have 1993's sci-fi horror adventure film. It is Jurassic Park. And this is a damn near perfect film. And what Steven Spielberg was able to do with this film, adapting Michael Crichton's novel, which was much more horrific, he was able to balance a sense of wonder, a cinematic magic, with the terrifying reality of what if dinosaurs did walk among us, and us humans are certainly not prepared for the dangers that that brought about. And the screenplay from David Pope is so efficient and so impressive. that he worked alongside Crichton on. And this film has incredibly rich thematic exploration of human progress and the challenges of people trying to invent things and do things because they can without thinking about the consequences. And oddly enough, Jurassic Park feels so much more poignant in 2025 with the advent of this growing artificial intelligence problem in our society. And this really does draw upon similar ideas. It's fascinating that this film came out the same year as Spielberg's Schindler's List. So different in so many ways, but so perfect in the way that they're executed. This film has a tight, engaging, and rich story, thematically dense. It has horror elements. There's terrifying moments with the raptors in the kitchen and the T-Rex attack and all of those elements. But the moment you see the Brontosaurus, the music from John Williams that is so iconic and swelling, this is such a wondrous film because it captures the wonder of what if we saw dinosaurs for the first time? And this cast and characters are incredible. Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant going on this journey, especially being isolated with these two kids and confronting his own insecurities about children after absolutely eviscerating one at the beginning of the movie with his verbal takedown of a child. You have Laura Dern as Ellie, who is so kind and sweet, but so valiant and persistent in such a horrible time. Jeff Goldblum, yes, Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, and he steals every single scene that he's in, especially when he's has his shirt open and chest out and lounging like the coolest man who just got attacked by a T-Rex. You have the likes of Richard Attenborough, who brings such weight and gravity to Richard Hammond, Bob Peck as Muldoon, clever girl. The screenplay is filled with iconic lines. You even have Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Arnold, and you better hold on to your butts, and Wayne Knight as Nedry, one of the most scumbag antagonists you're going to find in any movie. And this film is just so much, just even thinking about the special effects, the early stage use of CGI, but also the animatronics so perfectly mixed together. This film is immaculate. It's incredible. And if you haven't seen Jurassic Park yet, you're missing out. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. And lastly, we're going to talk about 1988's buddy cop action comedy, Midnight Run. And this film is from director Martin Brest, who has such an interesting career as a filmmaker because he has films like this and Beverly Hills Cop and Scent of a Woman. But then he also has Geely. So there's that. But Brest delivers such an engaging, fun film here. A bounty hunter pursues a former mafia accountant who is also being chased by a rival bounty hunter, the FBI, and his old mob boss after jumping bail. And the dynamic duo of this hardened, no nonsense PI, Jack Walsh, played by Robert De Niro, this bounty hunter is so good. De Niro is great as the straight man to Charles Grodin's Jonathan Mardukas. Oh my God, Charles Grodin is so fantastic in this. He's so funny and so wily and just such a slimy character, but his dynamic between Grodin and De Niro is so fantastic in this film. Few, like, obviously you have the lethal weapons of the world, especially in the 80s, but like this buddy comedy is absolutely on point. Brest does a great job directing, but it's really De Niro and Grodin that really deliver. And you have such a great cast with Yaphet Kotto, John Ashton, Dennis Farina, Joe Pantoliano. There's so many great Philip Baker Hall. There are just so many good character actors that fill out the rest of this cast. This cat and mouse narrative. We're on the run and up to all kinds of shenanigans. And De Niro trying to get Grodin to where he needs to go with all these other people on their trail. This is such a fun, engaging film that just hits so many beats, Certainly a wonderful flick to go check out. But that is a wrap here on another episode of the Streaming Wasteland. So let's get a little summation. So you're going to head over to Netflix and you can check out 1978's The Deer Hunter, 1993's Jurassic Park, and 1988's Midnight Run. But thank you all for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your favorite war drama? Like The Deer Hunter, or what's your favorite dinosaur film? Like Jurassic Park, or who's your go-to buddy comedy, whether it's, Cop and Crook or Two Cops, like Midnight Run. Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows, so many different interests. You'll find something to enjoy, especially if you love movies. We got plenty of that. And if you want to join the crew, whether as a guest on one of these shows or have an idea for your own podcast or two, make sure to check us out and reach out on our website. And if you like our logo, check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Streaming Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.